The death of Soho. That was one of the more dramatic headlines in the British papers when it emerged that Madame Jojo's, home to some of London's most diverse nightlife for more than half a century, was to be closed down, apparently because of a violent incident outside. No one from the club spoken publicly about what happened, but the move's been seen as the inevitable result of a process of sanitising London. Weekend editor Dee Sebastian's been given a tour of what was once one of the city's most notoriously racy districts by Tim Arnold, musician, long-time resident, a.k.a. the Soho Hobo.
Well, standing outside Ronnie Scott's, which most of our listeners will probably know is a very sort of iconic kind of jazz venue, although it's kind of upmarket, isn't it?
I suppose you call it upmarket now. I mean, it started in the late 50s and it was very sort of purist jazz.
It's still kind of small, dark and sort of, well, not smoky anymore, but small and dark
anymore.
inside.
No, Ronnie's is not just a jazz club now. I mean, it's a real Soho institution and there's all kinds of music.
And one of the few left.
It's one of the few left. I mean, it's lucky that it's got that history of basically, I think, all the greatest jazz artists in the world have performed in here.
So here we are on Frith Street. Describe this street to me.
Frith Street it's well, like Soho in general. It's one place in the morning, another place in the afternoon, and something completely different late at night.
Well, we should mention we're here in the middle of the day because
Yeah.
what with time constraints, we couldn't actually do a nighttime walk.
That's right.
What would it look like if we were here at night?
It would be extremely busy. There'd probably be a lot of police.
Why lots of police?
You know, there's a fair amount of drinking that goes on this street in the different establishments.
It used to be famous for sex workers as well, this area.
Yeah, Frith Street not so much, but of course all the streets in Soho at one time or another have been populated with working girls. Yeah.
So which way shall we walk now, Tim?
Well, let's take a walk down maybe into what, is classed as the heart of Soho, which is, where the Raymond Review Bar used to be, where Paul Raymond started.
And are we going to go and have a look where Madame Jojo's
Yeah,
is?
which is right next door to there, yeah,
Okay,
Walker's
well,
Court.
let's set off.
Yeah.
We're now in a bigger street called Old Compton Street. So describe to me what's here.
Old Compton Street, I mean, this is where, the birth of British rock and roll happened in the 1950s. We used to have the Two Eyes coffee bar just at the end there. That's where Tommy Steele started off, Cliff Richard, Lionel Bart, who wrote Oliver.
So down on the corner where we're just walking.
Corner, yeah.
What a shame it's not here anymore.
A great shame, yeah.
What is it now? A sort of rather posh-looking eating place?
A fusion restaurant.
A fusion restaurant.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bit different.
It's a very good restaurant, and the owners were actually sort of pulling down some of the walls when they moved in and found an original painting that was done by Lionel Bart on the wall.
So, Tim, I'm a tiny bit lost now, but we've crossed another little road, and it still looks sort of very retro, doesn't it? A bit like you look, actually. It looks, it's got little buildings, all different colours, little awnings, so lots of little shops.
Yeah, I think it lends itself to the, like the Latin Quarter in Paris or something.
As we walk, tell me of your connection with Madame Jojo's.
Madame Jojo's is one of the first places that I played in.
I believe your mum was also in Madame Jojo's.
My mother, when I was very little, my mother used to do one of her cabaret shows.
She was a windmill
Jojo.
girl, is that right?
Yeah, that's going back a little bit further, not to confuse the listeners. Yeah, she was the youngest ever nude at the Windmill Theatre at 15. Her father had to sign her performance contract.
And then after that she performed in Madame Jojo's.
Yeah, she had a regular gig at Madame Jojo's and all the venues around here she used to work in as a singer.
We're now coming into Brewer Street.
I used to live here at number 4 Brewer Street.
So you've always lived in Soho?
It's kind of what I was given the name the Soho Hobo. I've had 8 different flats in Soho in the last 18 years, yeah.
So, Tim, here we are, Madame Jojo's.
I will point out to the listeners that I didn't own these flats. I've been renting them.
Well, yes. You're only a musician, after all. We're outside Madame Jojo's, which sort of looks as if it might have been wonderful, but is now all boarded up and shut. Tell me about it.
Well, Madame Jojo's For me, it was a rock venue. You know, to a lot of other people, it is a venue that housed, you know, sort of a lot of burlesque shows, as you can see here on the poster.
Yeah, there's a lady wearing a sort of not very much, really, and a tiara, sort of inviting us in, really. It says every Saturday in Soho.
It's very beautifully put together, this flyer. And I think a lot of the media attention on Madame Jojo's is about the fact that it's been associated to sort of, you know, sexy shows and things like that. But people keep forgetting that it's one of the main venues where bands perform.
We should say that Madame Jojo's aren't making any comment about why they're closed at the moment, and there's no information as to whether they'll reopen, is there?
Not that I've heard of. If it does go, I hope the people who are making plans for Soho's future make an addition to their plan, and the addition should be housing performers who are starting out in Soho and somewhere that they can perform like they could at Madame Jojo's. They have a huge following, and it's a big question. Where are they going to go now? You know, where are they going to go now?
I reckon Dee's enjoying the job much too much, going around town there in Soho with Tim Arnold. And let's get a bit more from Tim Arnold. He was the chap guiding Dee around. Mind your manners on the manor.
I am my stripes basking on a bench. Now I'm welcome everywhere I go, from AA to the French. But you've got to keep your eye out for that certain clientele, the kind that throw up on your doorstep and then ruffle your lapel. We've all learned to accept the trials of national debt, but there ain't no excuse for lack of etiquette. Yes, we want you to feel at home now, so mind your manners on the manor, and you'll know how. You know we want you to fit right in here, so mind your manners on the manor.